I'm cleaning up all of my diseased zinnias. Pulled them out of this garden. I have piles. You can see the disease is on the leaves so bad, but it was even going to the flowers, so the flowers weren't even pretty. The bees still liked them, so I felt bad. See all this disease on the flowers? But if I want to grow white zinnias for the wedding, I can't have all these old diseased ones. So we'll do a quick little garden tour. The little garden has been the best of all the gardens. So hopefully all those plants come back next year. The sweet potatoes are ginormous, taking over the lawn, which is kind of what I want. So that's the most lush garden. I planted it over the drain field. All of these are shallow rooted plants. And then you can see my piles of debris. I cut back a lot of the giant African marigolds also. They're pretty diseased and old looking. I left some. Left a few in this one. Cut them back quite a bit. So I don't know when I need to dig up the sweet potatoes. Some of these leaves are turning yellow, and it was flowering. So someone said those are signs of digging up the sweet potatoes. So I might dig up this bed. I only planted a few sweet potatoes in this bed. And I took a lot of the vines out over here. Those are sweet potato vines right there. Most of the sweet potato vines, because they had come out of the bed and were all over the grass right there. So we'll have to weed eat that and get it nice and trim again. And maybe I'll replant all of those vines. Use those as slips. My Seminole pumpkin blooms, but it's never set one fruit. So there's a bloom. For some reason this Seminole pumpkin is all male flowers. I chopped and dropped a couple days ago. Not everything. There's a giant Mexican sunflower that I did not chop and drop all the way yet. But this one you can see I chopped all the branches off of it, but the stem was so thick I broke off part of that stem. I haven't really done anything in the woods. We've gotten so much rain. I just don't need to get in the shade, I guess, of the woods. So hopefully next year those free butterfly gingers in the back will take off. Coleus in the back looks great. It's happy over there. We started cutting back some of those vines, but we haven't taken them out of that tree. That tree is almost dead. So hopefully we don't lose it. But if we do, that's okay. We've got enough trees. Tina's garden's doing nice on neglect. I literally planted everything and watered it the first week and let it go. And in the back is the ginger that I think it's shampoo ginger Julie gave me. So Tina and Julie's garden. This is the view from under the tree canopy. Notice the Mexican sunflower. I just laid it on the edge of this garden. I have some seedlings that I planted just a month ago. So some germinated, but they're really little still. So I tried not to bury the seedlings. That's why I just laid the Mexican sunflower on this front edge. Might have to break out the fertilizer for this garden. The wood chips haven't decomposed enough yet, I don't think. And I scattered seeds all over the place. There are lots of little seeds that are growing up in the wood chips, so maybe it has decomposed enough. So far, the seedling look good. My one moringa that lived from seed, I'm tempted to cut it and use it to start more moringas. It's so tall and skinny. The Okinawa spinach didn't do great. It's not very big, but it's alive. That's what this is right here. This is the Okinawa spinach. The new leaves are purple underneath. The sweet potatoes look great. They're everywhere. Another Okinawa spinach. This is the jumbo leaf chaya. Most of mine died, but that one looks good. I could probably propagate that too. This poor little Etsy eucalyptus. I had, I think, 2 live. Nestled in there with another Okinawa spinach. Lemongrass. Another one of the jumbo leaf chayas. I got this from Cody Cove Nursery. So I got the Okinawa, so I should call this the Cody Cove Garden. So I got the Okinawa spinach, or the yeah, down here. This is the Okinawa spinach from the Cody Cove Nursery. This is the Shan's yellow cassava or yucca from Cody Cove Nursery. And I also got, is that all? I don't remember who I bought the lemongrass from. We have a local farmer in Inverness that I've been buying banana trees and canna lilies from. So I planted a bunch of canna lilies in amongst the wood chips and the sweet potatoes. And these are turning yellow too. I've seen some blooms on them, so maybe these sweet potatoes are ready to harvest. This garden will look a lot different once those sweet potatoes are gone, won't it? I need to chop and drop that Mexican sunflower still. Because I just wanted to show the gardens this morning with my piles of debris. I don't know if I'll stick them back there with Rosie or Tortoise, or if I'll put them in a compost pile. Wow, those diseased zinnias. Zinnias grow so fast here, but my goodness, look at the disease on those leaves. And I hate poison. And I wish it hadn't affected the flowers, but it did. The flowers were just nasty looking. There's Mr. Whiskers, super friendly cat. This is the longevity spinach. So this is doing way better than it was all summer. So it's had some shade from some zinnias I just pulled out. So this one we can propagate and give to friends. And I never did build anything for my starts. But there's still, well, 3 of them are alive. I had 4. This one the puppies must have knocked out of the ground recently. It's not looking very good. That's the dragon fruit. I got a bunch of ginger behind that beautiful Persian shield. I thought ginger liked shade, but it might be too much shade. I bet I could propagate the heck out of that Persian shield and get that everywhere. It's just beautiful. And most of this garden has reseeded from what was in here earlier. I got seeds from my daughter and her boyfriend, Steph and Zeph. So the yellow and orange cosmos, and I don't remember what these guys are called, but they're pretty cute. They got little flowers all over them. And then we planted a bunch of new zinnias, and they already had the disease on them. Those are the ones I wanted blooming for Rachel's wedding in November. But the new seedlings are already diseased. I pulled out a bunch of Biden's Alba, or another word is Spanish needle, because it's got the little, I guess, needle seeds. I don't see any. But they got huge. Like huge. You can still see there's a bunch right there still I need to finish pulling out. The wildflower garden has got more dead leaves in it than anything. Let me pause this while I walk over there. So there's still stuff blooming, and I started cutting all the seeds off of that old flowers because they're just reseeding. You look down in there, there's lots and lots of baby cosmos, which they were beautiful, but I don't need a million of them. Those big ones are like falling over and taking over the front half of the garden. I had planted seeds this front half. There's a papaya, started from seed. Most of the seeds that I planted didn't germinate great, and if they did, they're not looking great. It's time to fertilize. But I did a bunch of white and burgundy sunflowers and zinnias and something like baby's breath. They're really little still. It might be like a Queen Anne's lace. But the back flower garden has definitely taken over the front half of this bed. So we may have to get a florist and buy flowers for the wedding. I'm not seeing hardly any germination on this side. Okay, I'm gonna pause as I walk over to that garden. Did a bunch of chop and drop over here yesterday. Chopped the Mexican sunflower down. It was growing with my candlestick cassia. See, the candlestick cassia by the house is blooming. And this one I transplanted some when I realized how big they were gonna get. Papaya I started from seed. A little Suriname cherry my friend gave me when I first moved here.